Candidates, let's talk about Social Security. This is the first time in decades the Social Security program will have to dip into its own reserves to cover benefits. Also, projections from the Social Security Boards of Trustees show the trust fund will be depleted by 2034. Obviously, a fix is needed. Would you support raising the retirement age over the current cap of 67 years of age to maintain full benefits? Congressman?
Thank you so much for that. One of the things we hear from our current seniors is why in the world doesn't Congress move forward and establish Medicare and Social Security as the trust funds because of the long-term liabilities on these, making certain that we give our seniors, current seniors, assurance that these are going to stay in place and that their benefits are not going to be diminished. That is something that is very important. Now, Phil supported Barack Obama and called Obamacare his significant achievement, and that took $700 billion out of the Medicare Trust Fund. This is unfair to our seniors. It is money that has come out of their paychecks. It is money that should be there for them, for their health care and for their retirement needs.
Thank you, Congressman. Governor, would you consider raising the cap?
The Social Security is a trust fund. It's the only pure trust fund we really have for any of those programs. It has begun to dip into it now, and in another 10 or 15 years, it will have done itself out. I do not support in any way, in essence, reducing the benefits by either raising the age or any of the other mechanisms for doing that. I think we should do what Ronald Reagan did during that time, which is ultimately step up to a small increase in the Social Security tax to fully fund the Social Security Trust Fund. Part of the strength of that program has always been that it is properly funded through this tax, and people can be assured of having those benefits when they're available. Medicare Part A, the trust fund, the hospital part, has problems as well, and these need to be dealt with in a host of ways, and there's a lot of ways to reduce actually the costs and the draw on that.
Thank you, Governor. Congressman, your rebuttal?
Yes. Social Security does not operate as a trust fund as it should because they write an IOU and put the money in the general fund and they spend it. Barack Obama ran our debt in this country from $10 trillion to $21 trillion. In my opinion, that is something that is absolutely immoral. Now, Phil and the Washington Democrats would take us back to those Obama-Clinton policies and continue to spend that money.
Thank you, Congressman. Governor, your rebuttal.
There is no question but that the trust fund has been invested essentially in Treasury securities. It is still a trust fund, and frankly, I think it's better to have the money in Treasury securities than it is having a huge impact, for example, of having the government own large parts of the stock market, which is what would happen if you made other kinds of purchases with it. It is a trust fund. It is segregated in that sense, and they have the most secure collateral available, which is U.S. Treasury securities. That's right.
Thank you both. Chris